What if the real reason most people don't make it far past 80 isn't just age, but something quietly working against them every single day? Hi, welcome back to Life in Words, where we share powerful, science-backed tips to help you age with strength, clarity, and purpose. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because what you'll learn today might change how you live the next 10 years. Now here's a tough truth. Reaching 80 is an achievement, but staying healthy and independent after that? That's something most people quietly lose, not because they stop trying, but because they don't realize what's happening inside their own bodies. In today's video, we're uncovering 4 hidden health threats that silently cut life short after 80. Not with a bang, but with a slow, subtle decline. These aren't just opinions. They're rooted in decades of research and real-life stories. Like Evelyn, 85, who always believed her lifestyle was healthy until her memory began to slip. Or Harold, 83, who thought he was just getting older until a small fall changed everything. We're not here to scare you, we're here to prepare you. Because when you understand what's quietly stealing your strength, you can take action to protect it. You've worked too hard to let these invisible forces undo your independence. Stay with us to the end. The 4th reason might be the one that surprises you most. Let's get started. Reason number 1. Silent inflammation that ages you from the inside out. When we think of inflammation, we usually imagine swollen joints or a sore throat. But there's another kind that's far more dangerous, and you won't even feel it happening. It's called chronic low-grade inflammation, and after the age of 80, it becomes one of the most powerful forces accelerating aging from the inside out. Doctors sometimes call it inflammaging, a silent, simmering process where your immune system stays slightly activated all the time. Instead of fighting off illness and healing wounds, it begins to turn against your own cells, slowly damaging tissues, organs, and even your brain. The worst part? It rarely shows up on routine tests until real damage has already set in. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 84, a retired librarian who ate well, walked every day, and didn't smoke or drink. Still, she began feeling constantly tired, foggy, and achy. Her checkups showed nothing alarming, but when she saw a geriatric specialist, they found high levels of inflammatory markers in her blood, signs that her body had been battling itself for years. So what causes this hidden fire inside the body? Things like processed food, chronic stress, poor sleep, long periods of inactivity, and even environmental toxins like air pollution can all fuel it. And unfortunately, as we age, our body's ability to regulate inflammation weakens. What we could get away with at 55 or 65, like skipping vegetables or staying up too late, begins to take a far greater toll after 80. Silent inflammation has been linked to some of the most feared conditions in old age, including heart disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and frailty. It chips away at strength, slows down healing, and reduces the body's resilience. But here's the encouraging part. You can fight back, and you don't need fancy medications to do it. Prioritize whole foods rich in antioxidants, berries, leafy greens, nuts, and fatty fish. Move daily, even if it's just 15 minutes of walking. Sleep in a cool, dark room and limit screen time at night. Practice deep breathing or meditation to reduce chronic stress. Every small action lowers the inflammatory load, and every step you take helps restore balance, protecting not just your years, but your quality of life. If you've ever felt off without knowing why, you're not alone. Silent inflammation could be the reason. Comment 1 below if this resonates with you, and let's move on to the next surprising reason that's quietly shortening lives after 80. Reason number 2. Muscle loss that leads to weakness and falls. After 80, one of the most dangerous health threats isn't disease. It's muscle loss, slow, silent, and often ignored until it's too late. This condition, known as sarcopenia, is the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that naturally happens with age. Starting around 60, we begin to lose 3 to 5% of muscle each decade. But after 80, that rate accelerates dramatically. And yet, because it creeps in quietly, many seniors don't notice it until it impacts their daily lives. Meet Martin, 86, a former construction foreman who prided himself on staying active. He still cooked his meals, tended his backyard, and walked to the corner store. But one winter afternoon, he slipped while stepping off a curb. The fall broke his hip, and what followed changed everything. Weeks in bed led to more weakness. Suddenly, stairs became impossible, balance wobbly, and walks less frequent. His once independent life began to shrink. What Martin didn't realize was how much muscle he had already lost before the fall, not just in his legs, but in his core, his arms, even the small stabilizing muscles that keep balance in check. Muscle isn't just about strength. It protects joints and supports mobility, regulates blood sugar and prevents diabetes, improves metabolism, balance, and energy. And most importantly, it prevents falls, the leading cause of injury-related death in seniors. Losing muscle doesn't happen overnight, and rebuilding it doesn't require becoming a bodybuilder. But consistent effort makes all the difference. Here's what helps. Light resistance training, like using bands or water bottles 2 to 3 times a week. Daily walking, even for just 20 minutes. Eating enough high-quality protein, especially from sources like eggs, fish, lentils, and dairy. Gentle stretching and balance-focused movements, like Tai Chi or yoga. What's remarkable is that even at 85 or 90, building strength is still possible. Studies have shown seniors who engage in basic strength exercises improve not just mobility, but also confidence and cognitive function. Think of your muscles as the engine that powers your independence. No matter your age, it's never too late to protect that power. If you've ever felt unsteady or noticed daily tasks getting harder, this could be your body's quiet warning. Comment 2 below if this resonates with you, and let's explore the next invisible threat to long life after 80. Reason number 3. Poor sleep that weakens the body and mind. We often hear people say, "I don't sleep well anymore," but that's just part of getting old. But here's the truth. Poor sleep isn't normal, and it's not harmless. As we age, our sleep patterns do change. We may wake up more often during the night or feel sleepy earlier in the evening. But for many people over 80, sleep becomes so fragmented and shallow that it begins to damage the very systems meant to keep them healthy. Let's talk about Marjorie, 87, a retired piano teacher with a warm laugh and a sharp mind. She believed waking up 4 or 5 times a night was just part of her routine. It didn't seem like a big deal, until she started forgetting appointments, misplacing keys, and struggling to stay awake at her weekly book club. She began catching colds more often and felt a constant low-grade fatigue that coffee couldn't fix. Her doctor ran tests and gently explained, "Marjorie, your body isn't getting the rest it needs to heal, think, or fight off illness. You see, during deep sleep, the brain clears out waste, the immune system reboots, and cells repair themselves. When we lose that restorative sleep, it slowly wears down both mental sharpness and physical resilience." Poor sleep after 80 has been linked to increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, higher chance of falls due to impaired coordination, weakened immunity, leading to more infections. Mood changes like irritability, anxiety, or apathy. But here's the good news. There are ways to improve sleep naturally, even in your 80s and beyond. Try these simple habits. Keep a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. Get natural sunlight early in the day. It helps reset your circadian rhythm. Limit caffeine after noon, and avoid alcohol in the evening. Make your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Do light activity during the day, like stretching or walking. For Marjorie, just sticking to a consistent bedtime and getting 20 minutes of morning sunshine made a huge difference. Within weeks, she was sleeping deeper. Her memory improved, and her energy returned. Sleep isn't just about rest. It's about restoration. And after 80, that restoration becomes essential to thinking clearly, walking safely, and living meaningfully. If this sounds like something you've experienced, comment 3 below. And let's move on to the final, perhaps most surprising, reason people struggle to thrive after 80. Reason number 4. Loneliness and the loss of purpose, the silent breaker of the spirit. There's a danger that doesn't show up in blood tests. It doesn't cause pain, fever, or swelling. But over time, it quietly drains strength from both the body and the soul. That danger is loneliness, and its close companion, the loss of daily purpose. After 80, many people begin to feel their world shrinking. Friends pass away. Children move far. The neighborhood becomes unfamiliar. Trips to the grocery store or community center become less frequent, not because of lack of will, but because of aching joints or fatigue. And then, slowly, the days grow quieter, until silence becomes the norm. Let me introduce you to Walter, 89, once a school bus driver known for his big smile and morning jokes. Since his wife passed and his daughters moved to other states, Walter's days have settled into a lonely rhythm. Wake up, make coffee, watch the news, sit by the window, and hope the phone rings. Some days, it doesn't. He told a neighbor one morning, "I don't miss the noise, I miss feeling needed." This invisible shift from being connected to feeling invisible can have real health consequences. Loneliness has been shown to increase risk of heart disease and stroke, accelerate cognitive decline, weaken the immune system, raise risk of early death as much as smoking. 15 cigarettes a day, but it's not just about social interaction. It's about purpose, that inner reason to get up in the morning. Without purpose, even good health can feel heavy. With it, even limited mobility feels more bearable. Here's the hope. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. Calling a friend each morning, watering plants, and watching them thrive. Volunteering once a week, writing letters to grandchildren, feeding birds outside the window, mentoring someone younger. Even the smallest act of contribution can light up the brain, lift the heart, and strengthen the will to live. Walter eventually joined a virtual storytelling group through his local senior center. Once a week, he shares memories from his bus driving days, and for 45 minutes he laughs, he listens. He's seen. He told us, "It feels like I'm part of something again." If you or someone you know is feeling forgotten, know this: you matter. You are needed. Your presence makes a difference. Comment 4 below if this part of the video touched you. And let's close with a message that ties everything together. Final thoughts, a new chapter, not the end. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath. Not in fear, but in awareness. Because now you know, the challenges that come after 80 aren't always loud. They're subtle, quiet, and often dismissed as just getting old. But they matter. Silent inflammation, gradual muscle loss, disrupted sleep, emotional isolation. Each one may start small, but together, they can slowly dim a life that still holds so much light. And here's the truth: no one tells you enough. It's not too late. Not too late to stretch, to eat better, to sleep deeper, to reconnect. Not too late to rediscover what gives your life meaning and fiercely protect it. Aging is not about stepping back from life. It's about stepping more intentionally into the moments that matter most. So today, let this video be more than just information. Let it be a turning point, a promise to yourself that you'll keep showing up for your body, your mind, and your soul. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Small steps, daily courage, gentle persistence. That's how real change happens, even after 80. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share which part of this message spoke to you the most, and what one small thing you'll start doing this week to care for yourself. And if this video gave you hope or clarity, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we can build a community where aging is not feared, but embraced with wisdom, strength, and grace. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next video.